Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
In the past 24 hours, 7 more people are shot, 1 killed as Baltimore struggles with a record high murder rate. The search for answers reaches all the way to the state capitol in Annapolis. WJZ investigator Mike Helgren is live in Park Heights, one of the areas hardest hit by the violence, with what's being done to stop it. Mike?
Mary, the mayor wants tougher gun laws. The governor blames prosecutors and judges for lax sentences. The state's attorney says he's just finger pointing, but it's clear someone needs to do something with people dying daily. Mayor Pugh and Governor Hogan will meet privately on Monday to tackle violence that has reached a crisis level in Baltimore. As of Friday afternoon, 181 people have been killed on the city's streets so far this year. That's higher than the 127 in New York, a city almost 14 times larger, higher than the 160 in Philadelphia, which has 2.5 times the population, and the murder rate more than doubles Chicago's, which has gained international attention for its violence. Do you think things have gotten worse?
These streets, it's getting bad and bad.
Wendell Stuckey lives in Park Heights, not far from Baltimore's most recent murder on Reisterstown Road, an area so scarred by violence he can't believe he made it to his 44th birthday.
Never thought I'd see 25 years old. That's sad. I never, ever dreamed that I would live that long on the middle, on Baltimore streets. And at the time I was thinking about that, I was 13. So that's how rough these streets is.
I think everyone understands that it's at a crisis level.
Public safety expert Rob Weinhold says there needs to be more accountability.
Everyone needs to be held accountable. Whether you're the person behind bars and needs to stay behind bars and not be let back out into the community, or a person in a leadership position who is not getting the job done. Frankly, if you can't get it done, get out. The bottom line is this is not about politics, it's about public safety.
Police are exploring whether to increase saturation patrols, all available officers on 12-hour shifts. But the commissioner knows it's not a long-term solution.
I applaud the governor and the mayor because they're willing to have that hard conversation. They're not taking the tired old approach of blaming the cops.
The commissioner would like to see tougher laws for people who carry illegal weapons. The governor does not believe that's news.
Mike, thank you. A new federal indictment accuses several gang members of committing almost a dozen murders in West Baltimore, including a 22-year-old charged with 6 killings. The city has repeatedly asked for federal help and says it relies on federal partnerships to curb the ongoing violence.
Baltimore can't afford to heat schools, but is paying $100,000 to bus students to gun control rally. As Baltimore's schools crumble and students are forced to sit in classrooms with dangerously low temperatures, the mayor is spending $100,000 on busing students to a gun control rally. By Matt Agarist, March 13, 2018. Baltimore MD. The mayor of Baltimore is receiving much-deserved criticism after she allocated $100,000 to bus students to a gun control rally in Washington, D.C. later this month. The reason for the criticism is founded in the fact that students froze all winter long because the mayor says they have no money to fix the slew of broken heaters. Earlier this year, students in Baltimore schools were told to bring blankets and cold weather attire to class every day because the heating systems in over 1/3 of all the schools were either broken or barely working. Students, faculty, and staff were forced to bundle up inside the school in January until it became so unbearable that the schools actually closed due to unsafe temperatures. To most people, these underperforming, outdated, and broken heating systems would be a priority to get fixed. However, at the time, Baltimore Mayor Catherine Pugh claimed that there simply wasn't enough money to make the repairs and upgrades. It is not just the heat either. The infrastructure in the Baltimore school system is crumbling and many students find themselves unable to even drink the water. But we see where the priorities lie. Fast forward to March, and all of a sudden, in spite of claiming they have no money, the mayor has miraculously pulled $100,000 out of nowhere to bus thousands of students to a gun control rally in Washington, D.C. America needs to hear the voices of the young people of Baltimore, Pugh told the students before announcing the city's plan to fund a trip to the March for Our Lives rally in Washington, D.C., on March 24. The $100,000 will pay for 60 buses, free t-shirts, boxed lunches, and other amenities for a few thousand students who signed up to go to the rally. While $100,000 isn't nearly enough to fix the heating systems, it shows that basic necessities for students are taking a backseat to political theater. As our community now reports, at the time, the mayor's office explained that the school's heating systems were beyond fixing because the city simply didn't have the money to make the repairs and upgrades. Initial estimates from the American Civil Liberties Union, it's never good when HVAC systems in schools get the attention of the ACLU, estimated that it would cost at least $2.8 billion to modernize the heating and air conditioning in Baltimore City public schools. The problem became so bad that earlier this year, citizens were forced to take action outside of the government. A concerned citizen then set up a GoFundMe account to raise money to fix the problem. It was titled, "We Need Heat in Our Public Schools," and it raised over $84,000 to provide space heaters. The mayor's $100,000 could have stretched that out to further reduce suffering in schools, but this did not happen. Parents and students alike are left wondering why the mayor would justify spending upwards of $100,000 on political activism when children are suffering every single day in school. It is no secret that Baltimore is one of the worst places in the nation as far as gun violence is concerned. And, if students want to voice their concern over this problem, they have every single right to do so. However, when the mayor spends money, they don't have to bus a few thousand students to D.C. for a day to call for gun control when Baltimore is already highly regulated. This speaks to the nature of such an act. In Baltimore, there is already an assault weapons ban, a high-capacity magazine ban, and special fingerprinting and reporting requirements on handgun sales. Yet their murder rate more than doubles other cities that are much larger, like Chicago. According to WJZ, murders occur so frequently in Baltimore that the number of murders in the city is higher than the number in Philadelphia, even though Philadelphia has 2.5 times the population. Moreover, Baltimore sees more murders than New York City, although NYC is almost 14 times larger. Yes, Baltimore has a problem, but all the gun control in the world is doing very little to stop guns from coming in. Even the police admit that after all the guns were banned in 2013, criminal use of banned guns skyrocketed every year after. Proving that if you disarm a population, only criminals and cops will have guns, Baltimore police spokesman T.J. Smith said, "We're dealing with absolute criminals who want as much weaponry as possible when they're going after their targets. They're not carrying .22s. They're carrying the big guns that have these high capacities." Sadly, the mayor's move to spend $100,000 of taxpayer money that they don't have to send students to call for gun control that won't work is the epitome of everything wrong with government in America. Until politicians educate themselves on the cause of this violence, these uninformed and corrupt lawmakers will continue to focus on controlling the symptoms. The answer lies not in banning things. In fact, it is the banning of things that creates crime. When something is outlawed, merely possessing it turns you into a criminal. Yet this does nothing to deter those willing to break the law from possessing whatever item is prohibited. The answer to lowering inner-city violence lies not in more laws, it lies in more freedom. When drugs are legalized, gang violence drops drastically. Not only does it have a huge effect on the localized gangs in America, but the legalization of drugs is crippling to the violent foreign drug cartels too. We will see more senseless killings and more innocent lives stripped of opportunity by getting entangled in the system, and we will see more people getting duped into surrendering their right to defend themselves unless we focus on the cause. The solution is staring us in the face: end the war on drugs. In 2001, Portugal decriminalized all drugs and opened up clean injection facilities for addicts to utilize. These facilities offer clean needles, which has stopped the spread of disease. Users are also monitored by medical staff, which has stopped drug overdoses. Violence and crime plummeted too. No one is claiming that it will be easy, but the science is there to support this move. Now, all we need is for the masses to understand that prohibition is immoral and causes far more problems than it ostensibly prevents. No $100,000 field trip will ever change this.
County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt-free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.